Alright guys, welcome to the Haunted Mines. I'm the FourCourtJester, and this is a game that we actually played last night. A bunch of people you're probably going to recognize here. Just off the top of my head, we had, the team was myself, TotalBiscuit, ItsHafu, Pocket, and who's our fifth? Fifth was Caveman, that's right. Couldn't remember the Caveman because I've actually never heard of him until today, but he was a friend of a friend of a friend of something, so he actually joined us here in this game. It was actually a really fun time. So once again, yeah, Hafu is going to be on Tyrande. I was actually on Felstead. We got Nova being played out by Pocket, Caveman on the Gym Rainer, and that leaves TotalBiscuit on that lovely rainbow unicorn. Just going to give a quick pause right here because we didn't really have a lot of synergy going into this game. It was, I think, like our third game that we put together. We had just been started streaming. I think, yeah, this was either our second or third game of the night. Ended up being extremely close. And I got to give props to the opponents here. Wrist, Helgrim, Duck Attack, Ikigami, and Oathkeeper. These guys were just unstoppable at points in this map. So did they win? Did we win? I don't know, but regardless of their outcome, it was an extremely close match all the way down to it. So they're a Tyrande, Jimmy, they got themselves an Uther as well, Tyrael, and an Illidan. So if you take a quick look at the comps, we have one tank. That's the total chieftain. One tank. We have Tyrande for the heals in the back. But other than that, it's basically just TotalBiscuit to take the brunt of it. Now, you can make an argument that Gym Rainer, because he does have Adrenaline Rush, he's actually pretty powerful. You know, 200 hit points after 30% hit points here at level 1. That scales up pretty decently. It's a good few bars of hit points by late game. You could say that he's kind of semi-tanky, but like the tank ability factor here is just almost not compared because they have their own gym, their own Tyrande, so that's a heal and their beefy guy, but they also got Uther. And Uther right now, to me, is #1 on my list of the most powerful heroes in this game, to be quite honest. He's the most powerful. He has a lot of utility, and his kit is just absolutely insane. Heal, which you can also turn into damage later. Damage and heal. Stun. And after he does get his ult, typically it is going to be Divine Storm instead of the Divine Shield, but that's an AoE stun. So AoE stun, double heal, double damage, and a stun from that Fist of Justice. On the same side, Tyrael as well. Shields for days. Righteousness as well as the Hand of Sacrifice. His ultimate, of course, could be the Charge or the Invulnerability. Don't actually remember which one he took here, because we played a lot of games last night. It was a good time. But between the Tyrael and the Uther, you not only have the shields, but the heals. So you got the damage, the slow, the stun, the shield, and the heal. And then on top of that, behind you, another stun and another heal with the Tyrande. It was actually a very scary comp. That leaves a lot of free reign for the DPS, like Illidan, who has to get in close range, as well as Rainer, who, by the way, is my #3 on the most powerful heroes of the Alpha currently. It's just, it's really hard to kind of deal with them. So we had TotalBiscuit. We had our one tank and our one heal, and of course our Jimmies. So that out of the way, we are going to resume the game. Now this is the Haunted Mines. Every map does have their own objectives that you do want to be, you know, focusing on. In this map, we do have the underground mines, which, as you can see here, underground. Can't get to them until about the 3-minute mark. So what we decided to do early is we did a 3-2 split. We sent 3 down into the bot, 2 into the top, and they also did a 3-2 split, but it was just all the reverse. Now, it is a 2-lane map, so you kind of got to figure out where to go. Hafu actually decided to go off into the mid, and that actually brought us to a 4-1. As long as there's somebody in a lane, there's actually really no advantage experience-wise in order to actually keep more people there in that lane. One person is all that's needed to cap this experience. So we did end up doing a 4-on-1 down here, and that leaves the 4-on-2, sorry, but as you can see, Rice he actually tried to circulate down. Notice there was only the Jimmy up there. Finds the TotalBiscuit, who then just does his thing. Power slide for the stun, face melt for the CC. The shield comes out there from the Oathkeeper, but Uther unfortunately not here. And 4-on-1, she is a squishy hero, so she dies immediately there to the first blood. We're feeling good about ourselves. We just hit level 2. And as I said, like, we just left the Caveman. We left Caveman up here. He soaked up the experience. They also rotated their Uther down to the bot, who's going to land a little bit of damage on me there. But again, TotalBiscuit comes in. Power slide, face melt, and now duck attack, not looking so healthy. But he is Uther. He is a tank. He does have those heals and shields and slows and all that, so not really too worried about not getting the kill there. But we're putting up a lot of pressure here in the bottom. We're leaving the Rainers to kind of duel it out 1v1 top. We're not really that concerned about it. So that does put us slightly ahead in experience here this early game. As you can see, Illidan decides that this is not for him. He's actually going to go off and do a Merc camp. And the timing of this Merc camp, if you see here, 2 minutes 30 seconds. We have more or less about less than 60 seconds until the mines actually open up. So less than 60 seconds to the mines. He's about to go get a creep camp at the 2:30 mark. Something to note, I think, yeah, Helgrim actually took bribe. You're not going to be actually able to see the stacks here in the footage, but he did take bribe, and bribe on 7 minion lanes takes 6 waves to get a full bribe camp ready to go. That's about the 3-minute mark, which means that not this wave, but I think this wave here, and Helgrim is going to have a bribe ready to go. So I really do think that they actually started this a little bit too early. You can see Oathkeeper actually going to be coming up as well. Just going to continue the game here. As well as the Uther. Again, as long as there's one person in the lane, you're going to get the experience. It's just how this game is designed. So you can actually, on this map, since there's only 2 lanes, you can literally have 3 roaming heroes go in and around the place. We start up our creep camps just before the 3-minute mark, so the timings, again, almost aligns up with the opening of the mines, and that should be starting any moment now. I'm going to keep holding down the lane here, Caveman up there. You don't have to get last hits. That's not how this game works. You just have to soak the experience. So they get their Merc camp at the 3:10 mark, and the creeps are now going to be coming to lane. Since they did take the creep camp, you can assume that they're either going to go to their creep camp or they're going to come back to lane. It turns out that Duck Attack and Ikigami here actually decided that they want to try to contest our creep camp, but as you see, they got to run into 3 of our team members. We got Caveman rotating down from the top as well. I come up from the bottom, so now it is a veritable 5-on-4. Their Rainer's not here, but between, again, the slows, the damage, the shields, and the heals, weren't able to actually take home a kill right there. Uther, Tyrael, very beefy in the beginning, very hard to burst them down. It's a really good comp. Again, early creep camps, you're not going to get too much out of this. And as you can see, the mines are about to open up just before the 4-minute mark. So, yeah, getting those camps that early, I don't actually think it's going to really turn in too much when it comes to the lane presence. You're going to get the experience and the capture experience, but that's about it. You also now have to wait for these cooldowns. Something as a note, some of these timings for mercenaries are, you need to really try to just look towards capitalizing on the mercenaries while there's objectives to be had. The mines are open. That means we're going to have to force people into the mines to get the skulls. That is the point of this map. You get the skulls, you get the grave golem. Getting the mercenaries as early as we did from both sides kind of was a waste. I mean, I did the math. 31, well, let's call it X experience per kill. It was 31 at level 8, but we're not there yet. So X experience per kill, and then you get the capture experience. In fact, let's see what the capture experience here is. Oh, alright, we can't because it's footage. So you don't actually get to see the capture experience, but you're going to get the kill, so one kill, and the capture. And then when they go out to lane and they die, your enemies are going to get, you know, a kill and a kill. So the only thing you're going to get if your minions literally go straight to lane and die is that capture experience bonus over top of your opponents. And that's about it. If you can capitalize those creeps to actually take an objective while the enemy team, like TotalBiscuit here, he's going to be in the mines. We also got Caveman also going into the mines. If you can get them to live and try to split push aggression on this map, you're going to get a much better return for your bribe. And like, once you do get 40, you know, Rainer, he came here, he just bribed this. That's how he got this. So now I'm actually going to be stuck in lane trying to just fend this off because my team is down here. 1, 2, 3. I got one guy up here, Hafu, who unfortunately does go down. Hafu actually getting caught means that I'm the only one in lane. I'm the only one getting experience from lane for my team, and I have to deal with these siege creeps. Those siege creeps, because there is such a reduced answer from my team, we're able to take a turret out of that. Much more effective than the previous siege minions. And see, look up here as well. We don't have anyone in lane. This is a much better bribe, much better kill, because they're getting off a lot more damage than those early ones. And they're still down for another minute and a half. So there is something to be said for just not going up against those early creeps. Pocket actually dies here in the bottom. TotalBiscuit and Caveman, they're trying to get the skulls down here. And again, that's going to be the early point of this game to get those skulls. Caveman and TotalBiscuit, again, they got to deal with this Uther, but the rest of the enemy team is down here. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies in this bottom lane. 3 of them off doing the golem. 2 of them just playing around with Caveman and TotalBiscuit, but they're not really utilizing their skills as best they can. 5 down here mean that I have free reign in my lane. If we had anybody pushing top, they'd be having free lane, and our experience bonuses would be jumping up really, really big right now, because all they're getting is experience from these creeps, from the skulls, and any kind of kills they can get down here, which, as you can see, is really not going to be that much. So we do edge ahead slightly in the experience. They come back, my team comes back up to lane. I push out the bottom turret because there's nobody here to contest me. Putting 5 in the mines that early for the first objective, not recommended. Not recommended whatsoever. They do come back to contest this lane eventually, but we are about to hit level 9. We're thinking, alright, we're going to get ultimates there at level 10. We're going to get those heroic abilities ready to go. Why not stick around? We got a golem coming as well. Why not fight this? And we fight this. There goes the Illidan. He gets cut off from his team. We body block him. He goes down. He didn't have a lunge up. Couldn't get out of that. Grave golems are now summoned. Our grave golem's going to be going top. Theirs going to be coming bottom. There he is. So 52-48. Pretty even in terms of that. We got no towers here. We're feeling good. TotalBiscuit in the front, just doing the tankage. I'm throwing the hammers out in the back, but this golem gives no cares. And as you can see, the levels, we're about to hit 10. That means heroic abilities. So we're just trying to peter that out. Hafu, unfortunately, does go down. The damage and the heals and the shields and everything from this combo, this Uther Tyrael combo, was able to take her down. We got the mosh pit and the laser. We're trying to take down Duck Attack, who we don't actually get. We do, in fact, lose TotalBiscuit. Here comes the Hyperion, as well as the Metamorphosis. And unfortunately, it just ended up being a bad call to be fighting this. Not only did they have the golem, but they got the level 10s, and we weren't able to kill them before they got it off. So that means that this bottom, terrible thing for us to do. They jump ahead almost a full level. The only hope we got right now is the Caveman. And the Caveman is going to be in this top lane, up against Rice. Rice up against the Caveman. Plus a golem, yeah. Raynor shouldn't have too much trouble with that. We lose the fort. This golem is now advancing. We're kind of cursing ourselves, like, why did we stay? Why did we do that? And we just got to deal with the consequences. So, bribe happened right there from Helgrim. They go up here to our minions, and this is a great form of denial. They take our bottom, they push it up, they take both of our minions. That means we can't actually, contest their lanes. But they maybe actually stayed a little bit too long. We do got the Starfall there from Hafu before she does drop. Oathkeeper is getting body blocked pretty hard by his team. We also got the enemy creeps there. And they're really low hit points. Throw out the hammer, but unfortunately we get exploded on by Tyrael, and we decide, well, that's enough. We take these creeps. So these creeps, even though they didn't really get any kind of damage up here, they denied us the camps. So we no longer have minion camps on our side of the map. They go straight to the mid. Ikigami here and Helgrim. You can see Ikigami actually with first aid. So he's using that he used that to tank this out. They're actually going to get even the middle, which means with Rice over here, picking up those ones, and the middle, plus R2, that leaves only one camp left up. And as you can see, almost a full level difference between our two teams.
Red team has captured a mercenary camp.
So we got to deal with this. We've already lost way too much bottom. We got to deal with this. TotalBiscuit, fortunately, coming in. I'm going to take a quick moment here. TotalBiscuit was actually, we were talking about this before the game, just for how to build an ETC, and we decided on an AoE regen build. And these things here, Groupies and Guitar Hero actually empowered here for TotalBiscuit. So Guitar Solo itself generates, at this point, 97 health per second for 4 seconds. So call it 400 hit points. Also then heals allies who are affected for half of that, so 200 hit points. Past that, you're going to get into Rockstar, into the Uber Rockstar, to add movement speed. So you become kind of like an AoE aura, tanky kind of character, because you have not only the stun from Power Slide, but the knockbacks from Face Melt. Now you got heals for the team. You also have movement speed from Rockstar. Allies are going to be gaining 25% attack speed from this anyways. And then Mosh Pit for a gigantic AoE stun. Overall, it's a good kit, and I've had a lot of success with it. TotalBiscuit here had a lot of success with it last night as well, so that's just as an aside. We're forced into lane. We got to deal with a lot of these minions. We're a level behind. They finally go and capture the last missionary camp, so yeah. Now, the good news is we're going to get a lot of experience from killing these camps. The bad news is we didn't get any capture experience for the camps. So again, we do a 4-1 split. We leave Caveman to his device's top, but not entirely too sure that was the best of ideas in retrospect. Had Rice actually landed that stun, it might have been a bit of a different story, but Caveman responds with the Hyperion, just tries to keep that tower alive. Will actually take down this creep. No, actually, the Hyperion, that's right, it actually focuses heroes over top of creeps. So that was actually a really good Hyperion then from Caveman. We find Oathkeeper here as well. Our Tyrande ItsHafu throws down the stun, but the enemy team was ready to go. I get just absolutely destroyed. TotalBiscuit is now going to be throwing down the Mosh Pit, but there's no damage to follow this up. Caveman, not in the fight. I'm already dead. Nova's actually not here. You can see her here in the bottom lane, so a little bit clumsy from us, a little bit silly. TotalBiscuit going to try to get out of this, but he is a tanky character, and again, you can see now he has that Uber Rockstar, so the movement, 25% movement speed really works out well. We also had Caveman deciding that, okay, so that fight wasn't so good, he's going to go start collecting skulls. We got Hafu down here as well, but there was a Nova. There was a Nova right there, trying to get into the mines. Unfortunately, they collapsed on top of her back. Into the mines they go. Hafu could be in some trouble here. We got Caveman, of course, doing his thing out there. TotalBiscuit just holding down the lane for the experience, as well as rebuffing this Tyrande. And now Hafu is a little bit in a tough spot. She's going to come to the Caveman. Here comes TotalBiscuit and I, just deciding, alright, well, we got to get down there because we can't lose this skull. Unfortunately, the entire enemy team is down here. It's going to be a 5-on-4 if we do end up engaging, because we don't have Nova. Nova just respawned. She's back in town. So this is not looking so good for us. TotalBiscuit, again, with that Uber Rockstar and the Guitar Hero, we do get the movement speed, we do get the attack speed. I actually thought this was our Rainer in the back. Yeah, it wasn't. Oathkeeper goes in with the slows. He gets off a good amount of that. Duck Attack heals him up. That's the Starfall, the Hyperion, as well as the Metamorphosis here from Ikigami. And again, this comp has a lot of lockdown, and that lockdown allows them to just clean us up. No problem. 4 kills for 0. Pocket, again, she wasn't part of that fight. It was a 4v5. The only small victory we got out of this one is that we have 40 skulls, and they're all out of heroic abilities. That's really the only big advantage here. Golem's gonna drop. And unfortunately, again, we just come out behind, 60-40. So now we have to deal with a 60 skull Golem with not really that much hit points on our gate. It's looking a little ragtag. And only 1 turret. They have to deal with it up here, much farther away from their base. Much farther away. And it's not nearly as powerful. So we respawn. Nova decides that, yep, it's time to get some of those creeps. We actually did have Illidan come around and just check out the creep camps, but we are going to get both of those just before we get this Golem up, and now, yeah, we just got to deal with it. TotalBiscuit with the stun. Caveman, I think, also had Revolution rounds, yeah. The +1 attack, basic attack and vision radius as well from the advanced optics. You can also kind of see how we're building by looking at some of these tooltips. Sentinel has Pierce, so just goes right through all the heroes. Talented the Lunar Blaze as well. Hunter's Mark actually grants the True Shot aura. Really nice way to just talent out a little bit more damage for your team. She also has Shield Ally. So not only do we have Light of Elune, but we also have the shield ally. Both the golems do go down. We now see everyone ready to go here at the mid, but their ults are actually back up. We throw down the laser, the mosh pits, we take down the Oathkeeper, and we actually take down Ikigami and Duck Attack here as well. Look at the path of that Hyperion. Absolutely nowhere to go. And that was a big mistake there from the enemy team. Big mistake. They didn't have Tyrande. They didn't have Raynor. Still has his Hyperion ready to go. He was off doing these creep camps. Not actually sure if he bribed that one or not. But now he's going to throw down that Hyperion and try to stop us. But we're, at this point, 5-on-3 with double creep camps because we took the mid. There's absolutely no reason for us to stop. To just keep going at this point. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to show you a little bit here on Falstad. Boomerang does the AoE damage around the hammer. The passive on the Lightning Storm hit 2 targets at once. So not only can you activate it to do 4, but you can also passively hit 2. Barrel roll for the afterburner as well. Down goes the 2 more of their heroes, and that just leaves Helgrim up. And again, 5-on-2, 5-on-3s late game are not situations that you want to be entering, because those situations can lead you into situations like this, where we're coming back from an almost 3-level deficit, and we're actually now ahead in levels. We've run out of ultimates. They're all back up. Does look like Oathkeeper's going to charge in here on top of HaFu. Again, that's a good target. HaFu is extremely squishy, and we have no sustain because we don't have an Uther. We don't have the Tyrande because she just died. So we're out. We're out. I'm actually going to fly up to the top. Try to help out with the top because they did have some siege minions. But we also had Caveman here. The good news is we push in bottom. They creeps are going to get some damage here on top of the shield, but it's nothing really to write home about. Caveman and I get ganked in the top. 3v2, 3v3 situations again, not where you want to be going, but we do have TV in pocket here. Fortunately, we've lost Caveman, we've lost HaFu, and I'm in the back. Can't do any damage out of this, so pocket is going to drop to that aggression. I cannot stand at all here. Do dodge out not only the Pierce, but the Tyrael Sword, and again, we were like, all right, yeah, woo, we're coming back, and now we're like, oh, shit. Yeah, we're down 3 heroes right now. TotalBiscuit, this is great, by the way. These guys actually rock out. And that's because of the talented, that's the wrong one. Here's the talented, dance your pants off. And that's what I actually want, that's what I'm going to be calling this showcast. Dance your pants off. Every minion hit by face melt also dance for 5 seconds. These guys have a good time just rocking out down there. It's good fun. Mines are up, as you can see. Uther is going to be down there as well as Tyrande, and they're thinking, all right, well, we just killed 3 of them. TotalBiscuit's right here. TotalBiscuit's not going to really be any kind of big threat. It's an elite Tauren chieftain. He doesn't do damage. You could probably talented him out to do it, but it's just not going to work. This is a little bit interesting here by Helgrim. He actually comes down here and immediately just bribes out the camp. But now he has to deal with not only me, but TotalBiscuit and the body blocking from his creeps. So, not entirely too sure he's going to get out of this one. Starfall actually comes out here from HaFu. Oathkeeper is going to come in and try to keep him up, but now he's actually in a 3-man sandwich on our team. And again, late game death timers. You don't want to get into situations where you're going to be 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 5-on-1. Because of things like this. We just killed 2 of them. Nobody's on the map. We suspect, looking at the amount of skulls being collected, that they're all down here. And look at that. They are all down here. Illidan actually has the sense to come home. Uther's just thinking, okay, we actually got to go home. Rice, unfortunately, is not going to be able to come home anytime soon because of her positioning. Duck Attack is going to come out. But we got creeps, we got catapults, and we got 5 people ready to rock on a top of a naked palace. We've actually wrestled back to level 19. Mosh pit goes off, and bam! Look at this. There was an Illidan here. He comes in to stun TotalBiscuit out of the mosh pit. But you can't do that. You can't actually stun him out of a mosh pit. Not like that, Illidan. So Illidan actually, unfortunately, comes in. We now got 2 people here in this mosh pit. We're going to town on them. The laser, the Hyperion, the Starfall. And that's it. It's just now Rice here to defend against the 5 of us. And this tower is going down quick. Caveman does a lot of damage. Pocket does a lot of damage. TotalBiscuit plays interference. Rice gonna go down. I do a lot of damage, and that's how you do it.
Blue team wins.
That's just how you do it. So the key things to capitalize here is that late game, we had 3 separate engages where the enemy team didn't group up and we were grouped. They went into the mines, we pushed. And I think that's one of the big issues right now with Haunted Mines. Haunted Mines is the easiest map to ignore objectives, I feel. Instead of us going down into the mine, 3 people dead, and them already with a skull advantage, we just took them out in the jungle, we took them out at base, and they never were able to group up as 5, and we just slaughtered them. In fact, neither team actually hit level 20. This didn't even come down to a level 20 race. This just came down to, good calls and evaluation of the importance of the objectives. We were able to kill Jim Raynor at a mercenary camp because he bribed. Why didn't he take his own camps? Both of them are up. He decided to take ours to try to deny. That was a mistake. Late game, he didn't have any vision, didn't know where we were. In fact, we were all just finished respawning, so he should have known that we were actually about to come back out. Pocket was the only one alive, and she was actually doing the other camp. So we collapsed on him. Oathkeeper got baited into trying to help him, dies for it as well. Illidan comes home to defend, jumps into his own death. It's just, it kind of snowballed extremely hard at the end of it all. And just gotta say, our team pulled it together. It ended up being 12 kills to 16. We had 12. They had 16. Both teams level 19. But that's, again, you can't give up in this game. You can come back from behind from a 3-level deficit to win with smart calls and good play. And I'll leave you with that. So I do thank my teammates there that were part of this game, Hafu, Caveman, TotalBiscuit, and Pocket, because they all gave their blessing, said that can actually throw this up here on the YouTubes. So yes, big thanks to them. Hopefully we'll be doing more streaming together, and I do look forward to doing some more commentaries like this to kind of show some of the differences in not only the builds, but as well as just where great decision making can actually bring you back into a game. In the FourCourtJester, you can find me out there, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see you online.